Welcome back to the YouTube channel. It's your favorite YouTuber King Anan. Now on this channel, I create videos on how to build a better relationship between Africans on the continent and Africans on the diaspora, because there's been such a divide between both sides for so long that I believe that if we can come together as a people, if we can really understand each other and why we are the way we are, then we can build a better future for Black people all over the world. Now, if you want to know why I began this endeavor, it's you can check out the first video that I made on this channel and you'll be able to understand me a lot better and why I'm doing what I'm doing. But stay tuned, because on this video, on this YouTube video, I'm gonna be talking about how I almost got scammed in Ghana. So I have been living in the United States for 13 years. I came to the United States when I was a fresh boy. I was 12 years old. So I lived here again for 13 years, didn't go to Ghana, and honestly, I was living like an American. You know, I grew up in a household, you know, my father from Ghana, you know, my mom, my stepmother, you know, obviously, you know, Black woman, raised in Texas, raised in Willis, Texas. And, you know, she taught me a lot. She taught me a lot about, you know, Black people in America, you know, and I learned a lot from her. And, you know, even though as much as my dad, you know, tried to keep me and our culture, you know, was the American influences, you know, was really a monster. You know, growing up, being influenced by hip hop music and just American culture, period. You know, I became Americanized, so I didn't really think about Ghana that much, you know, every once in a while. But, you know, so graduated high school, went to college, HU, Hampton University in Virginia, and then at about the age of 25, I guess. Yeah, I was 25. I had an aunt and uncle who lived in Northern Virginia, and they were about to, you know, they actually were building a house in Ghana. You know, they have been building for years. So, you know, they had a son who was a little younger than me, and at one point, they all decided to go to Ghana. So it was me, my younger cousin, another cousin of ours who's just a year younger than me, and then, yeah, I got a lot of cousins, and then another cousin. So it was like me and three other guys. We all decided to take that trip together, and, you know, we were just like real excited. And, you know, we stayed at my aunt and uncle's house in Accra, which is the capital city of Ghana, by the way, if you don't know. So what happened was, I hadn't seen my mother, right? I hadn't seen my mother and my aunt, who, you know, practically raised me. I live with my aunt in Accra. And so my mother was staying at my aunt's house on the opposite part of town from where I was going to be staying at with my uncle and whatnot. And so the plan was basically to spend 2 weeks at my uncle's house with my cousins and them, and then after they left, because they were only staying for 2 weeks, so after they left, I was going to move over to my aunt's house, because I was going to be in Ghana for, I believe I was there for maybe about 2.5 weeks. So this happened like 17 years ago, so I'm not really sure on the timing and whatnot. But what's this? But anyway, so that was the plan. You know, I was going to be spending 2 weeks at my uncle's house, and then a week and a half or 2 weeks at my aunt's house. And this is about maybe about 25-minute drive from each other. So it was me, my cousin Will, who was born here in the United States, and then, but he had been to Ghana before, like when he was like really young. And then my cousin Noble, who was born in Ghana but had moved to the United States some years back, but been living in America for a while. and then my cousin Emmanuel, who was born here in the United States, but also had been to Ghana, I believe, when he was like a little bit younger. So I'm just trying to set this up for y'all. So we arrived in Ghana one night on a really hot night. This is in December, okay? Because we went there for the holidays. You know, we went. You know, we ready, we lit. As the young people, we say, you know, we just excited to be in Ghana and whatnot. You know, because it's the holidays. You know, everybody's gonna be there. You know, in December is when most people travel to Ghana because they ready for the Christmas holidays. You know, they're going to see their family and whatnot, just ready to have a good time like we were. You know, we young, you know what I'm saying, didn't really have no cares in the world or whatnot. You know, everything was pretty much paid for. Shout out to you, Uncle Will, God rest your soul, and Aunty Rita. You know, y'all put us up and we just had an amazing time during those Christmas holidays. By the way, kings and queens, go ahead and subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're not already subscribed. And make sure that you click the bell notification icon so that I can update you of any future videos that I upload. And then also click on the like button or the dislike button, even if you don't like this video. Just go ahead and click it anyway. It's really going to help me a lot. Push this video and other videos on this channel out to people that would like to see it. And also make sure that you go ahead and follow me at Official King Anan on Instagram. I really, really appreciate you guys. All right, so I'm back on the way back to the crib. So let's continue with this story. So we arrived on the night. You know, the next day we wake up. You know, I think we had some breakfast or whatnot, and then the plan was the next day I was gonna go to my aunt's house because, you know, my whole family was waiting on me. I hadn't seen my family in 13 years, right? That's crazy. You know, my mother, like I said, I hadn't seen her in that whole time. So it was just gonna be like an emotional experience, reconnecting back with my family and whatnot. So the next day, I don't even remember how I got there, but, you know, I traveled, took a ride out to the other side of town, North Labone, and I got in the house and, you know, the whole family was there. And, you know, that was just like a really, really emotional experience. And, you know, if I'm being honest, like the first few hours that I was there, like my family felt kind of like strangers to me because, you know, I had changed so much. You know, they were who they were. And, you know, I love my family, you know, because they're the ones that raised me, you know, for the first, you know, those formative years of your life, you know. But, you know, after a while, you know, I got reacquainted with everybody. And, you know, after being there a while, those first few weeks, you know, everything became cool. So, you know, this the first crazy thing that happened, you know, in how I feel like I might have been scammed. Keep listening because this is a crazy story. Is and another cousin of mine, you know, who I grew up with, who's, you know, younger than me by quite a few years, he had moved to the States to come to university. So I hadn't seen him. He had been living in the States for about, I don't know how many years, but he lived like so far away from where I lived at. I hadn't seen him. So we met in Ghana also. He came there for the holidays. So it was just going to be a wild trip, just reconnecting with everybody. And I met him at the airport. We went to pick him up at the airport, brought him home one day, and it was on. Like, you know, it was just, you know, we were just having a good time. So it was just this one night when my cousin and I, the one who I hadn't seen for so long, who had been living in the States, we decided to go out to a club. Like, I don't know if it was just like a bar, a restaurant, or what it was, but we went out. Like, we went out that night, okay? So we go out, maybe it's like 9, 10 o'clock, and wasn't really that much happening that night. So we just decided to come back, but it was like after like midnight, okay? So we get back to the house, we pull up, you know, we open the gate and whatnot. I mean, just because I said gate don't mean we're rich. Like we're far from rich. I mean, in Ghana, in Accra, most people got gates. Like a lot of people got gates. You know, they got brick fence around the house, and you know, we got gates. All right. So that's just how we live in Accra. We're not rich or nothing like that. So anyway, so we pull up at the house, you know, we open the gate, we pull up inside, and what do we see in front of the house? In front of the house, all right, in my aunt's house, there's a balcony, right? So we pull up and we see my aunt and my mother standing at the balcony. And we're like, yo, what are they doing? So we go inside, and they were not happy at all. They're not happy. They were waiting on us. And stay tuned, because there's more. Oh, but wait, there's more. So during this whole trip, like my cousins that I travel with, my 3 other cousins, right? We had access to, you know, a driver. We had a driver. There was this MPV van that we had. Out there, we're having fun. We go into the clubs. And listen, the women in Ghana are beautiful, especially during the holiday season. I'm telling you, you got to go and see for yourself. You got to go and see for yourself, because that's when these women put on a show. And I'm going to tell you why. Because they know their brothers that are coming from America, from Europe, from England, that are going to have money. They come with dollars, they come with euros, and they're going to have money. So they're trying to catch one. So, and I wasn't even, I didn't know this was going on. I wasn't thinking like that. You know, these are just, you know, nice ladies. We're young, you know, we're all single. So, hey, you know, we're out there, you know, we're talking to girls that we're meeting and whatnot. And we're going to these clubs and we meeting these women, you know, we're home, you know, we're just having a good time. You know, women in Ghana, right? Women in Accra know, you know, they know when you're different. They know when you're from overseas, when you're from outside, because they could just see you a mile away. They can spot you, they can smell you, you know, and then you start talking to them. They obviously know your accent is different from any other guy in Ghana. So yeah, it's crazy. So this one night I meet this young lady, right? Let's just call her Aisha, right? So I meet this young lady, and this girl, I thought this girl was bad, you know. There was something about her eyes, right? And, you know, we started talking, you know, we started dancing, and we eventually exchanged numbers, okay? So one day I ended up at my aunt's house, you know, with my mother. We're all, you know, we're hanging out, we're probably eating or something. And then, you know, my aunt asked me, so, you know, how you liking Accra, you know, and I was telling her what, you know, I've been doing with my cousins. And, you know, I don't know why I did this or why I let this slip out. As I say, loose lips sink ships. I told her I met this girl in a club. Yes. I don't know how I let that slip, but I told her I met this girl, and they started interrogating me like, who is this girl? Who is this woman that you met in a club? And, you know, how old is she? Where is she from? And I'm like, Lord, what's with all these questions? Like, I just, you know, this is just some girl I met in a club. But in Ghana, the culture is different. Like, you don't meet, no, that's not something that happens, at least back then, right? This was 17 years ago. It might be a little bit different now, but I still think the mindset of the older people, the older generation, is different. Because if you meet a young lady, they expect that your family is going to expect that this is someone that you're taking serious, that might be potentially thinking about, you know, courting her. And then, yes, you know, there is still courtship. You know, in our culture, it's a little bit different, but, you know, there is still that courtship going on. Somebody that you might be potentially thinking about marrying in the future or in the near future. So that was the mindset, you know, that the perspective that, you know, the older folk are coming with. So, you know, I started getting a barrage of questions from, you know, my mother, and it turned out that day, that night, I was spending the night at the house, at my aunt's house, you know, where my mother was staying at also. And crazy thing is, so one morning I wake up, my mother comes into the room and she's telling me, my mother, God rest her soul, she passed like, 15 years ago. She's telling me like, I don't really like the way what you're doing with this girl. I'm like, what am I doing? And she's telling me, you embarrassed me. I can't even like she actually woke me up to tell me this. She woke me up like 6 or 7 in the morning to discuss this with me. And I was like, I couldn't understand it. Like, this is just a girl I met in the club and we're just friends. Like, we're being friendly with each other. But again, in Ghana, the culture is different. And, I'm also going to break down the perspective that they're coming with. Remember, I told you that these women, right? These girls in Ghana, they look especially real good, right? During the holiday season because they know people are coming in town. People are coming from outside, right? So I found out this girl, eventually, right? Actually, let me rewind. So that day, right, my aunt told me that she want to meet this girl. And I'm like, no, I don't want to bring, it's just somebody I met. I don't want to bring them. Like, no. You have to bring this girl here. We have to meet her. We have to meet her. So I call the girl, the lady, the woman, and I tell her that my family wants to meet her, and she was like, no. I don't want to meet your family. It's too soon. We just we just met. Why does your mother want to meet me? Like, why? Like, and I explained to her, they just want to meet you. They don't understand why I'm talking to you. And I didn't even know what to tell her. I seriously didn't know what to tell her. But through some convincing, she decided to come to the house. So it turned out this girl had a car. And I thought that was normal, for a young lady and her, maybe she was, and another thing I forgot to mention. This lady was a couple of years older than me. She was 2 years older than me. And that's also a no-no. I mean, you can't be, for a man in Ghana, you cannot, I'm not saying that you can't be with somebody that's older than you, but it's just not done. It's just not done. I mean, for a man in Ghana, you got to marry somebody that's either your age or culturally younger than you, right? So it gets crazier. I mean, stay tuned. It gets crazier. So somehow I convinced the lady, to come to the house, right? And she had her own car, right? So that's also like kind of leading into this whole thing that's going on right now. They're saying they don't understand why I'm talking to you, and things. It was just crazy. It was just a crazy time, and I was feeling like really stressed out because I thought this was a situation that shouldn't be like this. I came home for the first time. I met this young lady, and I'm just trying to have fun, right? I'm just trying to have fun. So, but it was a lot of pressure. I was feeling a lot of pressure, and I started getting a little homesick after a while, to be honest with you. But it was all a learning experience. So again, the lady had her own car. It turned out she had her own crib, her own house, and again in Ghana, right? For a woman in her 20s, it's almost impossible for you to have your own house. So anyway, so the girl came over, right? She comes to the house. She meets my aunt, my mother, and I introduced her. I introduced her to my aunt. Like, this is Aisha. This is the young lady. And she said, can you excuse us she wanted me to, step a little away for a little while she talked to her. And I was like, okay, fine. So they talked for a few minutes, and we hung out maybe 10 minutes, and then she left. Right? So my aunt told me that this is not the girl for you. No, you don't want to see this girl because she's not good for you. I can just see in her eyes there's something about her I don't like. I can just see in her eyes you don't want to deal with this girl. And I was like, what? Like, where is this coming from? Auntie, I love you. She said, where is this coming from? Like, I didn't understand. Like, why? Like, why can I not see her? Right? But, so after that, I was like, you know what? I'm just not going to, this is not something I'm going to, really take serious. We're just going to be friends or whatnot. Again, how I think I got scammed with this is that, let's just say that I didn't listen to my aunt, my mother, and I really seriously got involved with this girl. Who knows what would have happened? Because when I came back to the States, right, this lady called me one day and was like, I'm really having a hard time here. Can you send me some money? I want to, who knows, maybe one day I can come live with you in America. And that's what happens. That's what happens with a lot of people. Some men from Ghana, from Africa, they have come here to America to live, to make a life, or in Europe, wherever. There are these women there in Ghana. I don't want to cast a bad light on Ghanaian women. I mean, Ghanaian women are amazing. But in Africa is really, it can be rough. It can be rough because there's not a lot of opportunities. That's why there's so many Africans here in America and all over the world, because there's not a lot of opportunities for you to make a really good life for yourself. You can, but I mean, there's more opportunities, obviously, in America and in Europe than there is in Africa. But yeah, so the girl called me. And, she said she wanted me to send her some money. And I was like, look, you know what? I'm just trying to make it over here myself. I don't have it like that. And that was pretty much it. That was pretty much the end of that courtship, friendship, situationship, whatever. That was pretty much the end of that story. So, look, I hope you guys enjoyed the story. It was a great time in Ghana. It was an amazing time, and look, if you go to Ghana, fellas, beware, because they're out there waiting on you. All right, guys. So listen, please make sure, if you enjoyed this video, please make sure you go ahead and give it a like. If you got any questions about what happened, please make sure you type the question below, and I'll make sure I answer your question for you. And once again, go ahead and share this video if you find this entertaining. You want to share this with your friends, because sharing is caring. But once again, it's your favorite YouTuber, King Anon, and I'll catch you on the next video.